Bardown Beauties with Jesse Pierce and Kirsten Kroll. Two hockey minds trapped in bodies that can't skate. They may have never laced them up, but they'll break it all down with sharp takes and plenty of laughs. This is Hockey Talk, the Beauties way.
Hello, everybody. Good morning. What's up? Buttes 296, Jesse Pierce, Kirsten Kroll, your favorite in-arena host, and Kirsten, your favorite NHL writer, and me. Hi, how are you? Kirsten, the Minnesota Wild. Little seed of faith, a little seed of, hey, we're going to go ahead and win a couple games here. Really impressive effort on the road against the New York Islanders to get that victory. Not a terrible showing against Carolina, kind of a weird game. And then they come back home to kick off another 5-game homestand with a 2-0 win against the Calgary Flames Sunday. A interesting schedule coming up, too. Where do you feel this Minnesota Wild team is at? They're back in the 500 range, which is good. Still out of a playoff spot. But I still don't have the faith that they're going to make the playoffs necessarily. I still don't have the faith that this is a quote unquote good hockey team. Am I being too pessimistic?
I still think it's too early. That's where I'm situated on that stance. So it's really hard to say, but I think right now they're trending in the right direction. And Jesper Wallstedt last night looked really, really good. I thought he's looked better than Gus at this point based on what we saw last night in his game against Calgary. So that was super promising to see. I think offensively, the team is getting a little more confident. They're not making some of the same mistakes that we had seen earlier in the season that were very uncharacteristic, very concerning. So I think it's starting to get figured out. Game against Carolina, like you had mentioned, Jesse, not a terrible game for them, but I do need to see them put up a good win against a good team, not respectfully Islanders, a Calgary Flames. I need you to solidify a solid win, not force overtime with 0.03 seconds against a Nashville Predators team. I need to see a little bit more to be convinced, but I think right now trending in the right direction.
Let's talk about Wallstedt. And again, we never want to harp on because you're listening to this on a Tuesday. We get it. But Jesper earned that start, that back-to-back start. And it was, John Hines telling us that morning, it's to give Gus a little bit of a breather. But Gus was fighting it so hard in Carolina. And I think to have the quote-unquote wall in St. Paul really show up, I thought he looked good. I mean, he is the reason. Not only does he earn his first shutout of the season, it's just his second out of the year. How important do you think that is for his confidence now, too, right? I mean, he looked good. He was seeing the puck well. I think also a testament to the defense. I thought the Wild played really well in their defensive zone against the Flames, which was great. But I mean, to stop 35, that he's definitely going to give Filip Gustavsson maybe a little bit more competition than he had initially thought.
I mean, I think it's huge as far as Jesper and his confidence. I think that was kind of, I don't want to say a defining moment. That's a little bit dramatic, especially, again, respectfully against the Calgary Flames.
But I still only scored 2 goals on the Calgary Flames, though. Come on.
I don't know. I don't want to talk about it. I want to just have a good day today, so I don't want to talk about it. But no, I think it's huge. And I think, too, maybe it does take a little bit of the pressure off Gus. Like, we've talked about it over and over, especially as far as, like, Hellebuck in Winnipeg. You can't just ride your top goaltender to the ground. And maybe, Gus feeling a little fatigued. I don't know. But just, yeah, to be able to have 2 games, just to have a little bit of a breather, I can only imagine that's going to benefit not only Gus, but just the team. Maybe a little bit of a break, a little bit of a reset, but also too, yes, like knowing Jesper maybe did build up his confidence now with that win against Calgary. I think it's huge.
Well, and I look at it in this perspective too, like we all know that teams play differently in front of different goaltenders, right? And not to say that they are, oh, we got to play extra good because Jesper's back there. Like, I do think there's something to that, though. I think maybe that's why you saw the way the team played more structurally and a little bit tighter and not pinching in as much because they had Jesper back there. So that can be a benefit. It's not to necessarily knock Jesper or say like, oh, well, we have a little bit more faith in Gus, because at this point in the season, I don't have a ton of faith in Gus. I've been very nice to the goaltenders thus far. I would like to make that clear. And I'm not criticizing them just yet. There have been, some inconsistency in Gus's game that he needs to get ironed out sooner rather than later. But I wonder, do you now ride Jesper a little bit more again? Like, you're already looking this weekend. You've got a back-to-back. You've got one game Tuesday and then nothing until those back-to-backs. The 5 p.m. starts Saturday, Sunday. So do you maybe say, hey, Jesper's kind of got the hot glove. Let's keep him in there. Or do you go back to Gus to also, again, give him a little bit of juice, give him a little bit of confidence and whatnot on Tuesday? Like, it's an interesting dynamic now that you have to navigate.
Yeah, I think Tuesday you still go with Gus. I mean, you can't let him just sit there and not get those. I don't want to say like repetitions, but
it is
not
the
let
reps.
him.
You're right.
It's repetition and it's also just gameplay. You can't let him sit there and get cold. But
Yeah.
I think at this point right now, you just kind of go back and forth and alternate. I mean, I think
Yeah.
that's only going to be to the benefit of everybody. I mean, I still think at this point Gus is still obviously your top goaltender, but yeah, Jesper looked good, and I think it has got fan base excited.
And it's
Because
a
there was a
reminder.
lot of doubts for a little bit. There was worry. So I think it's kind of settled the base a little bit now.
Well, and I think it's also like it's a reminder you could have two good goaltenders. In fact, that'd probably be the ideal situation. Like, let's have two really good goaltenders and call it a day. Like, that sounds fantastic. We can dive a little bit more into the kids playing and all of that stuff in the second segment here. But also we need to talk about Marcus Johansson.
Mm-hmm.
Do I feel like we need to apologize to Marcus Johansson? I don't know. I'm not sure. Plays 1,000 games, incredible, right? But it's his production this year. 15 points in 17 games, a career high 9-game point streak. Um, Kirsten, John Hines had this to say about Marcus and his play as of late. Take a listen.
We spoke earlier about Marcus Johansson and how effective he can be, and that was presented again tonight in his big milestone game. Just speak a little bit more about what you saw from him this evening.
Yeah, I thought Joe was right, kind of how he's been all year long. He's been a skater. He impacts the game. He has the ability to make plays. He's making the plays. And, I think someone asked me this morning, is there something different in Joe's game? I would say that right now he's in a situation where I think he's always creating those situations. This year there seems to be more conversion, whether it's him or whether it's the guys that he's making the plays to. But other than that, I think he's playing all situations for us, and he played a solid game. It was nice to see him. Nice to see him and his two girls before the game to read the lineup for him. So a special night for him, but great to see him just keep being reliable and consistent in his game and being an effective guy for us.
So he's calling him more reliable and more consistent in that there have been more, the production's there because his line mates have been doing more with those situations. So is that a credit to Johansson though, or is that a credit to his line mates?
I mean, I think it's a mix of both. I do think Marcus Johansson has played really well to start the season. I, said it earlier. I was like, he's been playing like one of the best players on the team, and I'm not going to apologize. I think the criticism Marcus Johansson has earned over the years is valid and it's fair and it can be backed up by numerous stats, but also I'll give flowers where flowers are due. And he's been playing really well and he's been cohesive with his line mates. So yeah, I'll give him credit. He's been playing super well. And I root for Marcus Johansson. I want him to play well. I want him to do well because when he's doing well, the Minnesota Wild is doing well. So
Nailed it. Right?
Yeah.
If those points are contributing to wins, all for it. That being said, do you re-sign him at the end of this season? And do you give him a pay increase from the league minimum that he is now making? Or do you keep him there? Like I have to laugh because the contract year thing seems to be relevant every single time we come to this situation. And again, you and I both were okay with the league min 700,000, like that's great, or 800, whatever it was. But do you re-sign him? Do you explore that? I know it's really early, but what do you do? The conversation has to be there.
I mean, if he continues at this pace and trajectory, which I don't know, will just outright say, like, I don't know if that's going to happen just because, like I said, I think he's far exceeded everything up to this point that anyone expected from him. Like he's been outperforming himself. But I mean, I think there's definitely a conversation to be had if he is able to maintain the pace that he's playing at right now. I just think I would continue to sign him to 1-year deals. Every year is a contract year.
I mean, that seems to be the way to get him going, right? Like no shame
like
in your
it's
game,
a
man.
joke, but like at the same time, it's not a joke because it's true.
Like it's minus last year then would have been the anomaly, right? Like he did not do well, not well enough to earn another contract, but he came back in this year. And it's it's very peculiar. And at first you could say, oh, well, look at what Kirill Kaprizov did for Marcus Johansson. But Johansson's continuing that production and almost that point per game situation with Matt Boldy. And I think he's getting Boldy into his own rightful zone too. So it's just it's fascinating. He's a fascinating player to me, I think is the best way to describe it.
I just can't get a grasp on him, is what it is.
I can't either. Beautiful skater, like Dorothy Hamill out there. But, I don't know. I just can't figure it out. The other Marcus I can also not figure out. That would be Marcus Folino. 1 assist. That's it. And now, for the record, I'm never looking at Marcus Folino to be my point getter. I'm not looking for him to necessarily put the puck in the back of the net or necessarily set things up. But the physical play is absent. The forechecking is fairly absent. And there's just seems to be a lag with Marcus Folino this year, and it seems very off. And again, we can say that up and down the lineup for a number of players, but with Folino and his leadership and the presence that he can carry on the ice, to have that missing component, which I still can't put my finger on exactly what it is kind of alarming, and it needs to get corrected ASAP, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, there's still areas that he is contributing so that can't be replicated. Still one of the top, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, one of the top 3 hits leaders on the team. So he's still playing that physical game, but we need to see more offensive production from one of our forwards.
I know. It's very bizarre. Like, I don't ever expect him, but 20 goals would be nice. 15 goals.
It would 15. Be nice. And also, especially too, because Folino, he's one of those big heart guys on the team. He's not a guy that you want to end up see get moved. And I would love for him to remain wearing a Wild jersey. But I think that conversation is had too if you continue to just be in a big rut, which I think is fair to say right now he is.
Yeah. And you look at the players that he's playing with right now. I don't love the line of him, Yurov, and Trenin, just because I don't think that's fair to Yurov. Like, Yurov's kind of just this very like that raw skill set. And then you've got these 2 lumbering big guys on either side of you that it's probably going to be hard for Yurov to really get anything going as well. But also Folino doesn't necessarily deserve to be higher up in the lineup at this point either, right? Like, so it's easy to keep that argument that he's there. But you're right. I love that you called him like the heart guy, because I think he is. Do you think that dissipates at all from the way his teammates look at him when he is in this rut and when he is struggling? And the good news is I don't think I see Folino necessarily changing his game. I mean, he's not going to decline any worse. He's not going to grip the stick too tight because he's not there. I think he's well aware of where he's at, but I also think he keeps it very level-headed. But I just wonder, what do you feel like the perception in the room might be? And it's obviously a question that I need to ask the guys. I'll put that on my to-do list for this week.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think the perception of his teammates on him changes. I think everyone knows who Marcus Folino is. Like, he's a lovable guy. He's like, I feel like he's the glue that kind of brings back the players when they're down. And I feel like he's like the hype man that you want in your corner. Like, I don't know. He's arguably like I just feel like he's the heart of the team. I don't know. I keep coming back to that. Also, shout out to Marcus Folino. I loved the quote that was brought to my attention where he said, like, based on what was it, the Nashville game? I guess I didn't even know it was like set on 93X or something. I really don't remember. Yeah. But he said, like, when the puck bounces off the goalpost or something, like, karma's your boyfriend. And I was like, he's a Swiftie.
Oh boy. No, but remember we ask him that and he was like, no, I don't listen.
He denied it, but that is a direct Taylor Swift quote. Karma is my boyfriend. Like,
is that why you guys played that in the arena the other night?
I have no clue. I have no clue, but I did think about it. I loved it. Love it.
Yeah, Folino, the man can do everything though. Like, did you know he could rock a mustache in addition to that? Is not a normal situation for a man of his face structure to be able to rock a mustache as well. Like, the mustache doesn't bother me so much.
I mean, I love mustaches.
I'm turning into a mustache person. This is concerning. It's my husband recently shaved his beard into a mustache. For 15 years, I've known this man only with a beard. Startling. We were all traumatized. It's
November.
No, he just said he did it because he wanted to try it. And he didn't tell anybody. He just disappeared into the bathroom. There were screaming children. It was a lot to bear, but we're moving on. We're surviving. It'll grow back, hopefully soon. The other thing I need to see happen, hopefully soon, shooting the puck into the goal or at the goal. Excuse me. Last night they had 19 shots on net. Um, Fairly consistently very low shot production because they pass too freaking much. I hate the shoot the puck concept because I understand that from my view up top or from our view in the stands, it's very difficult to see where the lanes are blocked and what it looks like down on ice level. However, there were a number of times in the Calgary game in particular where they opted to pass 2 or 3 times and then they never get the shot off and they turn the puck over and it goes the other way. And it's driving me up a freaking wall. And John Hines has called attention to it too, saying that he recognizes that they're getting too cutesy and they're trying to do too much. So stop. Just stop at this point.
I mean, hockey's a simple game. Get pucks deep, bodies to the net. That's all you got to do. Pass is bound to go in.
I don't get it. Like, why are we not taking the shot? Like, it's baffling. It's baffling that we're this far into the season and we still haven't changed that mentality a little bit.
I don't know. I don't have these answers you are seeking.
I need you to have these. I need somebody to have these answers that I seek because it's so frustrating.
Seems like John Hines is the man you want to be talking to.
But all he says is, yeah, you're right, which I love hearing. So I like never get tired of him saying that naturally. But it's
well, then follow up. What are you going to do to fix it?
What are you going to do to fix it? He said, well, we just got to get back to the details. Like I could tell you exactly
what are the details.
And then he just, the details, the simple things in the game. Like we'll never get a direct answer.
I would just
and again, it's the players.
Harboring.
I think I need to talk to the guys. I think I need to have a powwow with the guys and be like, hey, here's the deal. We're gonna go out there. You're gonna take a shot instead of pass. Capiche?
Yeah. I think it would be so annoying. He'd be like, just get back to the small details. What are those details? Like I would just keep going in, out annoy him. He'd be like, I just answered this. I would just ask follow-ups on everything he said to get him to be more specific.
I mean, that's fair. It's doing your due diligence. We love it.
Yeah.
There are certain times that Minnesota Wild players are using their bodies maybe a little bit too much. Brock Faber is like the 4th Wild player to get smoked in the man area. And I just want to know why that keeps happening too. Like, seems like there's an odd amount of Wild players that have had that area in particular. Like, are they not wearing cups?
I don't know how that works.
I don't understand it. Like I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how any of that works. I don't know how they ride a bike. Like there's a lot of questions I have about a lot of things.
I'm uncomfortable now.
But I just had to draw attention to it because it was like Brock Faber being literally the 4th. We all know what Matt Zuccarello went through. Danila Yurov, I believe, had that issue earlier this year. I want to say Ek did too earlier this year. So that'd be the 3rd player this year alone to just get right between the legs. I don't know. They need to protect themselves better.
I don't know. I think sometimes you just get yourself in an unfortunate position and it hits just the wrong right spot.
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, Faber's was different because it wasn't the puck. It was Kadri's leg. But I think Brock Besser, ironically, also had this happen like last week. Like maybe it's an NHL-wide thing. Like men just need to, I don't know, man.
I don't know. It's November, Men's Health Awareness Month, so bring attention to it.
We're just looking out for them. You should also be paying attention to our friends over at Soda Stick. Don't forget, they are now at all Pure Hockey stores across Minnesota. 9 different locations. All your favorite Soda Stick faves. If you're shopping online, Bardown Beauties at checkout, 15% off discount there. We love our friends at Soda Stick. You know what else I'm loving across the board, Kirsten? I am loving the youth, right? We've got Macklin Celebrini, Connor Bedard, Leo Carlson bringing their teams into prominence. Like the Anaheim Ducks are atop the Pacific, and the Chicago Blackhawks are very solidified into a 3rd team in the Central. Like, why? Because they're letting these young players play.
It's a concept I'm unfamiliar with.
Like, it's so much fun to watch. Like, and I love that they're just dominating. I also love that now, how are you going to keep a guy like Bedard or Celebrini off Team Canada? You're going to put all these old guys on because you want to and not let the young, because that's been the consensus. Like, they didn't make 4 nations, right? Like, you have to put them on the Olympics.
You have to. The projected roster I did see, it had Celebrini like top line forward. for Canada, but Bedard barely like coming into the mix, like fourth liner or extra forward.
No, they're absolutely crushing it. No, I'm not saying that Liam Ogren is like a Connor Bedard or a Macklin Celebrini or a Leo Carlson, right? We're not going into that, but at least like Bedard had some down time. You know what I mean? Like I've seen the concept of, well, they want to win now, so they don't want the young guys in and blah blah blah. But it's like, but the young guys can help you win too. Like it doesn't mean that you're selling the house and saying, no, we're not going to try this year. Like I feel like there's a misconception of that, of that you're playing the young guys because you don't really care and blah blah blah. Like I need to see more younger players. Yurov, having sat in the press box for 2 games, did no good. So Tyler Pitlick could get out there and play when we've already seen what Tyler Pitlick can do. Like as we predicted, we haven't seen Liam Ogren since the beginning of the year, which we knew was going to happen because they were going to bury him in Iowa, and I think that's all she wrote with him. But it's just nice to see other teams understand what we've been trying to say, and that's play the kids.
Yeah, and I mean, also we up until these last couple of games, we haven't been winning. We haven't been winning, so it's not even like we were in a win now situation. Like,
true. Like you could have done anything different. You know, Matt Zuccarello is taking all the credit for being 2-0. He said, you know, you were 2-0 since I've come back, just so you guys know.
You know what? If I was Matt Zuccarello, I also would be thinking that and being, you know, having that fire to my game. I would.
I will let you guys know I put in an official request for Matt Zuccarello, who is notorious with not enjoying doing media types of things. And I had asked our PR friends, I said, what are the odds? And they're like, well, you can ask. You just know he's probably going to say no, but fingers crossed, because I think he can be very funny. I think he
me and my best friend Laura, shout out Laura. I know you don't listen to this podcast, but so maybe you'll never know that I gave you a very public shout out to a lot of people. But her and I, we were, you know, doing what young people do on a Friday night. We were at the bar and
that's what
down
happened
in Rochester watching the Wild game. And yeah, Matt Zuccarello was on the screen, just very personable, very candid, funny. I don't know. And my friend Laura was just like, oh, he's so cute. Oh, okay.
His birthday is only like 2 weeks. His birthday's closer to yours, but he's my age, so his birthday is just a few weeks before mine.
So he's like September.
He's a September
Virgo
baby. Yep.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's a Virgo, not a Libra like me. He's like September.
Us Virgos, man.
One, I think he's September 1 or something like that. I looked it up for a story I was doing about old people playing hockey, and here we are. So, but yeah, no, shout out to Matt Zuccarello for making his triumphant comeback. I will say, like, it is so fun to watch him and Kaprizov together, right? Like that game, that Friday? Was it? Yeah, because he didn't come back till Friday. That no-look pass that Kirill made to Zuki and then back, like, it's just insane. Just absolutely insane.
And they're just fun to watch.
They're so fun to watch. And they're just so happy together. They are happy boys. We love to see happy boys. The fan base, Kirsten, before we get to some buy or sell ideas, how unhappy do you think the fans are? Like, it's just felt very weird at Grand Casino Arena this year. And I feel like some of that stems from last year a little bit, where there was starting to feel like maybe a falling out of sorts. But do you think the fan base is just kind of tired already of the season? There's a lot of empty seats, and I don't know. It feels different. It's giving it a different vibe.
I think this time of year is just hard in general. Like, logistically, right now, you are competing with the NFL. And NFL just point blank, it's bigger, especially on a Sunday. When you have a Sunday game, focus is not on NHL hockey. It's on the NFL. But also, when you take into consideration like Sunday night, like last night against Calgary, it was a 7 p.m. home game on a Sunday night. Like, Sundays are usually the family days where you see a lot more kids in the arena. 7 p.m. on a school night is really hard. So I just think of like those logistics too. And I'm like, if I'm a family, I'm just going to opt for like a 5 p.m. Saturday puck drop, not a Sunday night game. So I think that is part of it. But also too, I just think because I've been feeling it just going to the arena, the condensed schedule. There's just so many games back to back to back. I think that's also playing a factor in the attendance as well. I think it's going to get a little bit better because I think the fans are seeing now that like, oh yeah, we're starting to win again. But Minnesota has been one of those markets too, where regardless of how the team is playing, they still tend to show up.
Yeah. And I think that's a credit. Like, I feel like now maybe fans are just like, well, why are we still doing this when the team hasn't given us much back, right? And certainly some of the games, like last year, they were brutal at home. And this year hasn't been off to the best start either. So it's also that to be considered. Like, the product on the ice definitely plays a factor in if I'm going to spend a couple $100 to go watch you too, right? Like, it's tough. It's tough being a sports fan in Minnesota sometimes, a sports fan in general, but I just had to address that. Like, I see you fans. I hear you. And again, because I feel like you're having more people just very subdued in their seats too. Now, again, the on ice product hasn't given you much to stand up and rah rah cheer for, but it always is so disheartening when you hear fans booing your home team off the ice. But I get it. Like,
It's not great.
you can't, you gotta give respect, I suppose, to that. So we'll
Great.
see.
And
Hopefully they
also, I
pick it
mean,
up.
just to be, again, a logistical person that I am, money's hard these
It's so
days.
hard. That's
And the
just it.
games are expensive. I mean, we're borderline in a recession. So
Yeah.
hockey tickets, probably not the top of my
No.
expense list.
No, definitely not. Speaking of money, buy or sell, Kirsten. Do you buy or sell that Marcus Folino will score a goal before 2025 ends?
I'm buying it. That man has too much heart. We've seen this before. He's had his moments where he's, just been in a rut, been in a funk, and then he'll come back. I have no doubt he will find his groove again.
Buy or sell the idea Marcus Johansson will have 40 goals this year?
Sell. I think 40 goals is a lofty expectation.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think he'll come back down to earth, maybe a smidge. My other concern, which we haven't said, and I'm going to knock on wood because I'm certainly not wishing this, like injury, right?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully the Wild and Johansson are able to maintain their health. I just think right now it's hard to get a grasp on him. He's been exceeding expectations, which is great. Happy for him. Like I said, give the man his flowers where the flowers are due.
Yeah.
I just don't know how sustainable it is just because we've seen this before.
Right. I think I've seen this film before. Is that
Yep.
what you want to say?
Correct.
Yep.
Correct.
Final buy or sell. We talked about it last week. John Hines is the right coach for this team long term. So even beyond the season, he is the guy the Minnesota Wild are going to lock in on and lean on for success. Is that John Hines? Buy or sell?
I sell the idea because in my time here in Minnesota, I've seen a lot of coaches come and go. My personal coaching style is a little different. I opt for the more aggressive.
I don't want John Tortorella here. All right. I know that's where you're going.
I do like Torts. And again, not saying John Hines is not a good coach. I just, especially if the team were to fall back into a losing skid, it's more to coming from the sense someone's got to go, changes have got to be made, and usually a lot of that blame falls on coaches. So I don't know. I feel like we've seen a lot of coaching shuffles in Minnesota over the years.
That seems fair. I would probably agree with that too. It's not that I don't want him to be. I just don't know if he's going to have the ability to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. And again, a lot of that relies on Billy and the roster construction he has. So hold everybody accountable across the board. But we'll see. I think Hines is a good players coach. I don't know if he's got enough to really get that gusto out of them. But that being said, let us know what you guys think. Let us know if you're buying or selling the idea of Johansson, Folino, Hinesy this week. A lot of good hockey back in action. Shout out to our friends over at Score North. Don't forget to check out Judd's Hockey Show, plus all the other content they've got: football, Wolves, Howlin', all the good stuff. On behalf of Kirsten and myself and our friends at Soda Stick and Score North, that's going to do it for this week. Go Wild. Have a good one. Bye. Near.